previous chapters, we saw the great primate and the ancient serpent exchange blows across the land.
These massive creatures would have leveled any ordinary ecosystem with the sheer force of their brutal physical power.
But today the environment itself is turning against them, as a massive volcanic tremor has cracked the earth.
The Blackwater Swamp is draining into a deep subterranean fissure, leaving the battlefield exposed and very slippery. As the water recedes, the Titanoboa loses its primary advantage of stealth within the murky and dark depths. The ultimate king and the ultimate predator stand eye to eye for the final time in this struggle.
There is no more room for ambush.
King Kong's ancestor is breathing heavily, and his shoulder is gashed from the serpent's needle-like teeth.
But his spirit is far from broken, despite realizing that in a direct wrestling match, constriction is absolute.
The primate knows that the constriction of the ancient serpent would be an absolute and final death sentence.
He needs a weapon, and moving with a speed that defies his massive bulk, he rips a trunk.
He rips a petrified redwood trunk, hardened by millions of years of minerals from the drying, thick mud.
This is not just a piece of wood, it is a 6-foot-long, stone-hard spear.
It is a stone-hard spear of ancient history, and he slams the ground with pure primate defiance.
A roar of defiance echoes through the crumbling mangroves, challenging the monster to make the first move now. The Titanoboa is agitated, as for 40 million years her kind has ruled the deep, dark shadows. Under the harsh, ashy glare of the volcanic sky, she is exposed, yet she remains far from defenseless. Her 48 feet of muscle are now coiled like a high-tension steel spring, ready to strike. She moves with a terrifying liquid grace, sliding over the mud as if it were ice toward him. She is looking for the moment the primate's grip on his heavy stone weapon finally begins to falter.
The air is thick with the sound of her scales grinding against the stone like metal on metal.
The strike comes not from the front, but from the flank, with the force of an industrial piston.
In a heartbeat, the first coil is around his neck. This is it, the deadliest hunt of all.
But he has kept his grip on the petrified wood, even as the world begins fading to black.
He jams the petrified trunk vertically into the Titanoboa's open, unhinging maw as his last defensive act.
The pressure on the ape's neck slackens for a split second, as the serpent recoils in agony. Kong seizes the moment he rolls, throws off the loosening coils and stands with a guttural roar.
With a guttural roar that shakes the very trees he brings his massive fists down onto her.
He brings his massive fists down onto the serpent's exposed spine to end the long and deadly.
The mud goes still. The Titanoboa lies motionless, her ancient reign finally ended by the great primate.
The king has survived as the sun sets over the devastated iron mangroves and the fallen predator.
We realized that this was not just a fight for food, and it was a fight for history.
The Titanoboa will sink into the mud, destined to become a fossil, a mystery for future generations.
But the king moves back toward the high ridges, a lone silhouette against a world never forgetting. He is a lone silhouette against a world that will never forget the deadliest hunt of Paleocene.
Nature begins to reclaim the land as the smaller inhabitants emerge from their hiding spots after battle.
Rain begins to fall, washing away the remnants of the battle and cooling the scorched earth once.
The legacy of the great primate is written in the earth, as his footprints remain within mud. The geological forces have settled, leaving a transformed landscape for the creatures of the iron mangroves forest.
Safe in the high ridges, the king looks out over the domain he has successfully defended today.
The throne of history belongs to the survivor who adapts to the changing face of the world.
Smaller life forms continue their struggle for existence in the shadow of the fallen and the victorious.
Rest comes to the king as the stars begin to appear over the prehistoric canopy of trees. The Paleocene era continues its long march through time as new legends are born in the dark. The moonlight illuminates the final resting place of the ancient serpent within the cold and wet mud. The stone weapon remains as a silent monument to the battle that took place on this ground. A new day begins in the iron mangroves as the inhabitants resume their natural and daily rhythms.
Healing begins for the survivor as the scars of the past become the armor of the future. The social bonds of the great primate ensure the continued dominance of their species across the land.
Fresh water flows into the basin, once more revitalizing the land after the violent seismic events ended.
New growth emerges from the mud as life finds a way to thrive amidst the fallen titans.
The king leads his troops through the canopy, maintaining his rule over the prehistoric world of trees.
The iron mangroves remain a place of mystery and danger, where only the strongest can hope survival.
The cycle of predator and prey continues in every corner of this ancient and unforgiving natural world.
The ocean provides a boundary for this world, keeping the secrets of the Paleocene safe for now.
Small creatures take advantage of the remains of the battle as the forest floor begins its recovery. Deep below the surface, and the waters find a new home within the dark and hidden fissures of Earth. Knowledge is passed down to the next generation, ensuring that the king's legacy will survive the years. The volcano remains a silent witness to the changes on the island over millions of prehistoric years. Strength in numbers provides security for the great primates as they face the dangers of the night.
The king remains at the top of the world, watching over the land that he has won.
The universe is vast, and the story of the king is but one chapter in the book.
The legend of the king and the serpent will echo through the ages of the natural world.
In the end, the environment dictates the terms of life, and only the truly adaptable can survive.